Hello, Wildcat families. We just wanted to take a moment to walk through some adjustments we are making to our progress reports and report cards in grades kindergarten through third grade for this school year. We are transitioning to a standards-based grading model, so we just want to talk a little bit about what that is and what it will look like in your child's progress reports and report cards. So what is standards-based learning and grading? This refers to how our curriculum is written and developed around specific learning targets, so really places an emphasis on those learning targets. SBG, standards-based grading, is how we provide feedback to our students and our parents on a child's progress towards those learning targets. So let's take a look at what that might look like. Here's an example of a learning target. Describes character setting and major events in a story using key details. So this is something that students would be working on in class and that the teacher would be tailoring their activities to work towards. So an example of feedback that you'll be seeing on progress reports and report cards, we use a number scale for our feedback. So a 3 indicates that that child is meeting or exceeding the expectations for that skill. A 2 means that they're working toward expectations. So maybe they've started it and they're getting there, they're in the learning process, but they haven't quite mastered that yet. They need a little more practice. And a 1 means that they're not meeting expectations. This could be at the very beginning when that skill is just being introduced, or if a student is struggling with it, an indication of a 1 on a progress report or report card would tell you that. So here's an example of what it would look like on a progress report. Here's your learning target. Describe characters, setting, and major events in a story using key details, and the score. So if a child's at a 2, that means they're working towards expectations, just need a little more practice in that skill. So let's take a look at what the report will look like. So this week you'll be receiving our progress reports. So this is P1, stands for Progress Report 1. So this is an example of a second grade language arts. All the learning targets are listed over here on the left. Scores for various sections are right here on the right. If it is blank, and I apologize, the scores didn't line up quite right on our slide here. If it's blank, that means that that concept has not been taught this quarter yet. So this first one, identify and capitalize proper nouns, they just haven't gotten there quite yet in our curriculum, and students will have a score for that at the end of first quarter. If it's shaded, that indicates that that skill is going to be taught in future quarters. So this one's not taught in first quarter. That might be a skill that they get to in their curriculum in second or third quarter. Here's an example of a report card later on in the year. So here's your term 1. This would be quarter 1, term 2, second quarter, and semester. So you can see these skills will be reported on. They'll work on this throughout the whole year. These skills will not be taught until second quarter. This skill here, not until third quarter. So some things to keep in mind. At progress report time, many skills are just being introduced and students are still practicing. So 1s and 2s are completely normal, and those may turn into 3s by the end of the quarter as that learning progresses as we go. 1 and 2s are also more frequent at the beginning of the year as new concepts are being introduced and learning is just jumping off and occurring. So a 1 and 2 at the beginning of the quarter is not as much of a concerning issue as later in the year. So as a parent, how can you help your student? First things first, be sure to praise them for their 3s when they're really working hard to master those learning targets. If you see a 2 or a 1, those are skills that you can start practicing with your child. Those are in the learning process, so you can start practicing at home as you're reading or working on math skills. If a square is blank or shaded, these skills will be coming up, so feel free to look ahead and start practicing those skills that your child will learn throughout the year. Another thing that might look a little different this year is the work that is coming home. In the past, you might have seen percentages on things, and this year the feedback might just be more note-based from the teacher, or it might just indicate how many problems or questions a student has missed. So just reviewing that student work that's coming home and keeping an eye out on how they're doing on those skills that we're currently working on. All right, and as always, please feel free to contact the office if you have any questions or concerns. We're really looking forward to the quality feedback we'll be able to give you all through this SBG process, but please let us know if there's anything we can clarify. Thanks so much and have a great day.